Victory in a world war brought peace, but also new problems that would soon push the American colonies toward independence. Hello friends, I'm Jim Rand, your AI host for History in Decades. Today we walk through the decade of 1760 to 1770, a time when the aftershocks of one war set the stage for another. The decade opened with Britain celebrating a massive victory. The French and Indian War had ended, and France was driven from North America. The Treaty of Paris in 1763 formally confirmed Britain's dominance. For a brief moment, many colonists felt proud to be part of the British Empire, but that pride quickly turned to frustration. Britain was deeply in debt from the long global war. Parliament believed the colonies should help pay the bill, since the war had been fought in part to protect them. New taxes followed: the Sugar Act in 1764, the Stamp Act in 1765, and the Townshend Acts in 1767. These taxes were imposed directly from London without colonial consent. Colonists responded with growing anger and the cry, "No taxation without representation." Protests, boycotts, and riots broke out, especially in Boston. From Britain's perspective, the colonies were ungrateful. King George III and Parliament saw the colonists as subjects who owed loyalty and financial support to the empire that had defended them. The emotional rub was real on both sides. Americans felt their rights as Englishmen were being trampled, while many in Britain viewed the colonists as spoiled and disobedient children. In 1768, British troops arrived in Boston to restore order. Tensions boiled over in 1770 with the Boston Massacre, where soldiers fired into a crowd, killing 5 colonists. The event became a powerful symbol of British tyranny. Meanwhile, on the frontier, Pontiac's rebellion in 1763 showed that native resistance continued, and Britain's proclamation of 1763 tried to limit westward settlement, a move that deeply frustrated land-hungry colonists. The economy was also changing. While the fur trade remained important in some regions, agriculture was becoming the backbone of colonial life for most families. Farmers were producing more grain, tobacco, and other crops for export, and many wanted the freedom to expand westward.
Hey everyone, if you're enjoying these deep dives into ancient history, I think you'll love our companion series. The Odyssey, short and engaging retellings, a full vivid retelling of Homer's epic, one book at a time. Join us for dramatic storytelling, legendary adventures, and the ultimate tale of homecoming. The link is right there in the show notes. The Odyssey, short and engaging retellings. Go check it out.
Throughout the decade, ordinary people continued their daily lives, but frustration was building. Farmers, merchants, and craftsmen gathered in taverns, churches, and town meetings to discuss their grievances. The Stamp Act Congress in 1765 and the growing committees of correspondence showed that Americans were beginning to talk seriously about their rights, and in some circles, even the idea of greater independence from Britain. Notable figures of the decade: George III became king in 1760 and would rule through the coming storm. Samuel Adams emerged as a powerful voice of resistance in Massachusetts, organizing protests and committees of correspondence. Benjamin Franklin continued his influential work, serving as a colonial agent in London and warning Parliament about growing colonial discontent. We also saw the early lives and rising influence of leaders like John Adams, John Hancock, and Thomas Jefferson, who were shaped by the debates and tensions of this decade. Closing reflection. The 1760s showed that victory in war does not always bring peace. Britain wanted order, revenue, and loyalty from its colonies. Americans wanted the rights and freedoms they believed they had earned. The emotional divide widened with every new tax and restriction. Ordinary families felt the growing strain, yet they also began to discover their own strength and shared identity. Stability isn't given to us. It must be guarded by vigilant, self-reliant people who are committed to passing it on to the next generation. If you're finding value in these episodes, please take a moment to rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. It really helps the podcast grow. And if this episode resonated with you, Share it with someone who would appreciate learning from the past. That's how we build something meaningful together. I'm Jim Rand. Thanks for listening to History in Decades. Until next time, stay rooted in the lessons history provides.